You ever heard about the Pythagoras theorem? But what is it? Well, the Pythagoras theorem was discovered by a Greek mathematician named Pythagoras and used to solving problems involving right triangles. This concept is useful not only for mathematics but for everyday life, such as calculating shortest route or designing buildings. But the crucial question is, what does the Pythagoras theorem actually says?
Well, the Pythagoras theorem says the square on the hypotenuse of the right-angled triangle is equal in area to the sum of the squares of the other two sides. This theorem can be written as an equation relating the lengths of the sides A, B, and C, often called the Pythagorean equation, that is denoted with a formula A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Confused? No worries. Let us look each of its terms. But before we start with the example, we need to learn a few terms first, which are essential to understand.
Now, visualize a right-angled triangle, which is A, B, and C sides. In this diagram, A and B are the legs of this triangle, and the opposite side to the right-angled triangle, which is C, is called the hypotenuse and is the longest side of the triangle. Moving further to our example.
Imagine a toddler stuck on a building crying for help, and the only way to save the toddler is by climbing over the building. So you look around and find a few ladders lying beside.
But you have less time in hand, and the toddler is hanging between life and fall. So we need to choose the correct size ladder as quickly as possible. Fortunately, you remember the Pythagoras theorem that says A squared plus B squared equals C squared. So let's assume the building as A, the surface of the land as B, and the ladder you need to find as C. Then you quickly measure the length of the building, which is 9 meters. Then you measure the surface of the land, which is 12 meters. Now, as A equals 9 meters and B equals 12 meters, then we know C will be equal to the sum of the square of the length of the other two sides. Then we need to substitute these values into the formula, which is A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Now, as you have the value of A and B, you are required to find their squares to move further. So the first thing to do is substitute A as 9 and B as 12. And these values you get after the substitution are 81 and 144, which are their squares. Then you put this square's value into the formula, which equals to 225, which is the value of C squared. But we're not done yet, because the ladder size can be in square meters, as the two sides are in meters. So our next task is to convert this C squared into C, and its value square meter into meters. So we apply square root on both sides, which converts C squared into C, and the 25 squared meters into 15 meters. So the size of the required ladder is 15 meters.